A lot of people, probably even watching tonight, don't realise that a lot of royal journalists are also in that WhatsApp group, and also a lot of royal journalists, for some reason, hide the fact that they have any, direct notification from Harry and Meghan's team. They won't admit it because they're too scared of the backlash, I suppose. But it's interesting that you just came out and were truthful. That did impress me a lot. I wanted to get into Meghan in Paris, legs up in the limo, and the lights of Paris gliding by. And I saw your article you did in the Daily Beast, and I've got a
Mm.
quote. And this quote I quite agree with. What once looked like a clean break between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal world now feels blurred. Now I'll accept that because Europe, Paris is a lot closer than Melodramacito, so I'll accept that one. But this one nearly sent me into apoplexy. Meghan remains every inch a duchess. Her title still confers an extra sheen that makes her a serious media figure. I would argue that the only sheen she had was what Daniel gave her, the highlight on her face. I seek to understand you, Tom. Explain that. Explain that quote.
I think that what I'm trying to say is that she still attracts attention because of her title. And of course, there is like an incredible irony that, people who've spent 5 years literally slamming the royal family at every opportunity, saying how awful they are, accusing them of being racist, accusing the whole institution of being outmoded, of being colonial, of being prejudiced, of being racist, are still using these titles. But the reality is that the Duchess title does give her an extra sheen to people who don't know, right? So you and I and the people watching this, we're like the 1% of people who know the story, right? Or the 2% of people who know the story, yeah, who
Yeah.
understand that she's not allowed to use the HRH, but she does, who understand that she's been allowed to keep the title, but lots of people aren't very happy about it, who understand that she strong-armed her kids to be called prince and princess when the palace didn't really want it, right? We understand the nuances, the differences between a working royal and a non-working royal. The point is, right, that Meghan's audience is the rest of the 5 billion people on the planet who are on Facebook, who have no idea. And my point is that to the whole rest of the world, the people who aren't invested in the royal story, being a duchess is something, right? It is something. Being an HRH, even if you're not entitled to use it, they don't know the difference. And it's like the same thing when Prince Andrew appears on the steps of the church with the king. The rest of the world, we understand that Andrew is a member of the family, but not a member of the working royal. But the other 98% of the people on digital social media, which is how all this stuff is being consumed, have absolutely no idea about that. And what that means is that she is still a massive focus of media attention when she does events. And she's still by far the biggest driver of traffic on the internet in terms of a name. If you want to write a story and you want people to read it and it's got Meghan in it and it's about Meghan and about Meghan doing something, it will drive a lot of traffic. There's just no denying that.
And there you have it, Squaddies. Even royal commentator Tom Sykes is finally admitting what the rest of us have known all along. Meghan Markle is still one of the most powerful and relevant women in the world. Let's talk about that for a second. Tom Sykes, who's covered the royal family for years, just said Meghan remains every inch a duchess. Despite leaving the royal institution, her presence, her elegance and her influence haven't faded one bit. In fact, they've grown stronger. Now, some people might want to twist his words or mock the idea that Meghan's Duchess title still means something. But here's the truth. Meghan doesn't need that title to command respect or attention. The extra sheen Tom mentioned isn't about the crown. It's about her character, her confidence, and her global appeal. Think about it for a moment. How many people with royal titles fade into obscurity the moment they step back from official duties? How many lose their relevance when they're no longer at palace events or on the balcony at Trooping the Colour? But Meghan? She's different. She's carved out a space that transcends traditional royal boundaries. The truth is, titles can be given and taken away, but authenticity, that's something you either have or you don't. And Meghan has it in abundance. Whether she's the Duchess of Sussex or simply Meghan Markle, her impact remains undeniable. That's not about a title bestowed by an institution, that's about the woman herself. When Meghan steps out, whether it's at Paris Fashion Week, giving a keynote speech, or working on her projects with Archwell the World watches. Tom is absolutely right when he says she's still the biggest driver of online engagement. The numbers speak for themselves. Articles about Meghan outperform everyone else in the royal circle. And that's because people are genuinely interested in her, not for scandals or gossip, but for her story and her strength. Let's break this down with some context. In the digital age, engagement is currency. Media outlets track every click, every share, every comment. And time again, content featuring Meghan generates more interest than almost any other royal figure. Why? Because her story is compelling. It's about transformation, resilience, and choosing your own path. People relate to Meghan because she represents something we all understand. The courage to walk away from something that's harming you, even when the world tells you to stay. She represents the power of choosing your mental health over tradition. She represents love that's willing to sacrifice comfort for authenticity. These are universal themes that resonate far beyond royal watching. And here's something the critics don't want to acknowledge. This level of sustained interest, years after stepping back from royal duties, is extraordinary. It proves that Meghan's appeal was never about the institution, it was always about her. Let's not forget, Meghan faced years of targeted media attacks, bias and misinformation. Yet here she is, thriving, glowing, and redefining what it means to be royal on her own terms. While others rely on palace protocols and photo ops, Meghan relies on purpose and impact, and that's why the world connects with her. We've watched her endure smear campaigns that would have broken many people. We've seen coordinated efforts to diminish her character, question her motives, and erase her accomplishments. From the moment she entered the public eye as Prince Harry's girlfriend, certain segments of the media decided she didn't belong. They scrutinized everything: her background, her family, her past career, her race, her nationality. But here's what makes Meghan truly remarkable. She didn't just survive that onslaught, she's flourished beyond it. She and Harry made the difficult decision to prioritize their family's safety and well-being. They walked away from the security of royal life and built something new from the ground up. Today, through Archwell, they're doing meaningful work on issues like mental health, digital wellness, and community building. Meghan has returned to her entrepreneurial roots. She's exploring creative projects on her own terms. She's being the mother she wants to be to Archie and Lilibet, away from the suffocating spotlight of royal scrutiny. This isn't just resilience, it's reinvention at the highest level. Tom also hit on another key point. Most people around the world don't care about royal hierarchy or working royal status. To billions, Meghan Markle is still the Duchess of Sussex, a title associated with grace, intelligence, and compassion. She's become a symbol that extends far beyond Buckingham Palace. Let's put this in perspective. The obsession with who is and isn't a working royal is largely a British tabloid construct. Around the world, people don't pass these distinctions. When someone in Los Angeles, Tokyo, Lagos or Mumbai hears Duchess of Sussex, they think of Meghan, a woman of grace, intelligence and purpose. To global audiences, Meghan represents something refreshing in the often stuffy world of royalty. She's modern, she's relatable. She speaks openly about mental health, racial justice, and women's empowerment. She's used her platform to amplify voices that are often silenced. She's shown that you can honour tradition while also evolving beyond its limitations. In many ways, Meghan has become more influential outside the royal institution than she ever could have been within it. Inside, she would have been constrained by protocol, silenced by the firm, limited in what causes she could champion. Outside, she's free to be fully herself, and that version of Meghan is far more powerful. The global perspective also reveals something the British tabloids don't want to admit. Meghan's story of overcoming adversity, standing up for herself, and choosing her own path resonates deeply with people who face their own battles with institutions, families, or systems that tried to diminish them. So yes, Tom Sykes got it right. Meghan isn't just relevant, she's resilient, radiant, and respected. And while critics waste time dissecting titles, Meghan is out there making moves, changing narratives, and inspiring millions. Think about Meghan's lasting impact on the royal institution itself. Her presence, however brief as a working royal, changed conversations. She brought diversity to the forefront. She made mental health within royal life a topic that could no longer be ignored. She showed that the stiff upper lip approach to suffering isn't sustainable or healthy. Even now, years after her departure, the royal family is still responding to the conversations she and Harry started. There's been more acknowledgement of mental health issues. There's been more discussion about modernising the monarchy. Whether they admit it or not, Meghan's influence left an indelible mark. Beyond the institution, look at her cultural impact. She's inspired countless women, particularly women of colour, who saw themselves reflected in her story. She's shown that you don't have to accept mistreatment just because it comes from a powerful institution. She's demonstrated that choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Her fashion choices still make headlines and influence trends. Her philanthropic focus areas shape conversations in the non-profit world. Her business ventures are watched closely by industries from entertainment to lifestyle brands. Love her or hate her, you cannot ignore her influence. And perhaps most importantly, she's rewriting the narrative about what's possible after leaving a toxic situation. She's proof that there is life, success and happiness on the other side of walking away. That's a powerful message for anyone trapped in circumstances that don't serve them. The critics will continue to criticize. The tabloids will continue their campaigns. But the truth remains unchanged. Meghan Markle has carved out a unique space in modern culture. She's a duchess, not because of a title, but because of her dignity, determination, and grace under pressure. This is Sussex Squaddies, where truth always shines brighter than the tabloids.